Hello, everyone. Merry meet. I hope you all are doing well today. I come to you to talk about the new moon that we are having in Sagittarius and sitting outside on my back porch, and I thought this was just the perfect time to do so. I'm all snuggled up out here. It's cool, and it's just the right time. Now, I tried to do this very quick, but there was so many different factors here that I wanted to include that I did the best I could. For me, this new moon is the Archer's invitation, and it is about aligning with your true north. Now, I did go into this a little bit explaining a lot of things because, I want to make sure you're understanding and I want to make sure that you can tap into this energy and you can work with it to make it work for you. Aligning with your true north is something that a lot of people don't understand and a lot of people don't know what that means. That is aligning with what your soul is pulling you to do. All of us have something that we've wanted to do, that we've wanted to experience, that sort of thing, but we don't do it because maybe we had to fit into a role. We had to fit into a box. If it's something that it's always been done in your family, that can happen. So I want us to really be able to work with this energy. So on December the 19th of this year, at 8:43 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be having our last new moon of 2025. And it will be in the fiery sign of Sagittarius. And before I get into the aspects and placements and my perspective of what this energy could be telling us, let's talk about Sagittarius. Okay? In order to understand the energy that these planets are carrying, um, we have to open up the dialogue with what is Sagittarius? What does Sagittarius mean? What is its mythology? What is it associated with? Things like that. So quickly, the sign of Sagittarius is a sister fire sign of mine. I love the Sagittarian energy. Um, they just have a passion and they do have a zest for life. And this architect does carry a big type energy. Its planet is Jupiter and it's all about expansion. So Sagittarius represents that archetype of expansion, of exploration, and the search for the ultimate truth. And that is one thing about Sagittarius that I really love is they love the truth. And they will do what they need to do to find out that truth. Now, Sagittarius is about movement as well. The archer pulling back the bow. It's not just physical, as in physically traveling and moving, it is about the soul's desire. Okay, to move beyond the limitations that have been placed upon you through society, through your roles, things like that. It's about discovering higher wisdom. And that is one of the things that I really do love about Sagittarius is it is about that freedom. And I have been having these dreams of horses, and it's been a while ago, and then I realized that we're going into the year of the horse, and that the Sagittarius new moon is really going to be really helping us open up if we allow it. So Sagittarius energy pushes us to question beliefs, to question dogmas, and cultural conditioning. And we do see that happening right now in our world. The soul is called to find its own truth rather than accept an inherited one. The sign craves freedom, intellectual, spiritual, physical. It wants to, again, remember, expansion, right? It resists confinement and thrives when exploring new horizons. Sagittarius is linked to philosophy, spirituality, and the pursuit of knowledge that gives life meaning. And a lot of people are doing this right now. I'm seeing a lot of people wake up and they're starting to see that things that they have been taught in the past are not exactly right, that there's a lot of things that are missing, that they were told wrong, etc., etc. So I do see that in today's world. And let's see here. So this is about connecting the dots between experiences and wisdom. Yeah. I love that little quote that says knowledge is power. Not necessarily. Knowledge is useless unless it is acted upon. And this is where Sagittarius is saying this it's time to act on it. Um, connecting those dots, experience, wisdom, acting upon that. And at its highest expression, Sagittarius energy cultivates faith, not blind faith, not that blind belief, but trust of the soul's evolutionary path. This is about inside, trust in your inner world. And the evolutionary intent of Sagittarius is to expand consciousness, and it asks us what belief limits me, what beliefs in my life limit me, what truths liberate me. The soul evolves by embracing diversity, exploring, different perspectives, as well as integrating the experiences into coherent worldview. So again, it is making that happen. It's making that work for us. Now in Sagittarius, we have the planets. We got the sun, the moon, Venus, Mercury, and in asteroids, we have Juno and Hecate. Now, these are very important. They're all located around 28 degrees of Sagittarius, which is the galactic center. So, plus we have that 3-eye atlas, and I believe it will be close to the Earth at that time. Um, so, this is pretty big energy. Um, and this new moon, especially when we have the winter solstice coming up, just a few days later we're having this new moon on the 19th, and then we have this the winter solstice on the 21st. So this is a movement. It is moving. The new moons, they're about new beginnings, and this moon is definitely a seed planting moon. These planets and asteroids will be squaring Saturn and Neptune as they make their last trek through Pisces. This is what is called the death of Saturn in Pisces, or I'm sorry, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces cycle, and as they will begin to leave this watery sign and go into the fiery sign of Aries. Now, this is a shift. This will be a big shift. Now, I want to say when we look at squares in astrology, they are about challenges, but they're not bad, because something normally, something good comes out of it. Um, this is they represent like new cycles and openings can be present. So it may be the end of something, but it's also this new opening. You're squaring, means something has to give. So squares are catalysts for growth. They create friction between planets. Um, forcing us to take action, because, hey guys, we are creatures of comfort. We like being cozy and comfy, and we don't like that. But unfortunately, in life, there are challenges that we have to go through, and we have to make the best out of it. But without tension, there is no movement. That's just the thing. We have to have this tension to have movement. Squares push us out of comfort zones. And for this square in particular, this is dynamic and evolutionary energy. Um, they will spark transformation by demanding effort and conscious engagement. So, this is one that's really going to require you to embody. I've been talking a lot about embodiment. Um, this is very important for this time. Now, with Hecate and Juno, it really raises the dynamic of this energy, and this is a liminal time. And liminal times are the realm of Hecate. And Hecate is so much more than the Greeks shared. She existed before their pantheon and is a primordial being. Hecate conjuncts the new moon. And with this conjunction, you can see a birth of your intuition in a new way. We are at a crossroads in society, and so are you. Many of us are you know, um, in crossroads. So we have many we have different things we're having to work through and go through, such as that. So it is about evolving and becoming more, expanding. Hecate stands for that which is different and not the societal norm. So if we think about the differences, not conforming, and I've noticed that a lot. Everybody wants to be the same, and I don't like that at all. Um, she very much represents authenticity. So, before Greek mythology narrowed her as a shadowy figure of crossroads and witchcraft, Hecate was revered as a primordial guide, a liminal goddess who held keys to choice, sovereignty, transformation. See that? You see that flow there? So she was not about fear, she was about freedom. Hecate was the torchbearer of authenticity. Hecate stands at the gates of change. She is the guardian of the thresholds. She's illuminating paths others fear to tread. She invites us, with this moon, to step beyond conformity and claim our unique truth. Mm. Our unique truth. As the keeper of the keys symbolize access to hidden wisdom and the courage to unlock dimensions of self. So the torch is her gift of clarity in darkness, a reminder that the unknown is not to be avoided or explored. And that's one thing that I see in our world nowadays is that, especially within the United States, it's everything has to be quiet. You have to be, if it's dark, you can't, no, that's bad. It's dark. Dark is not bad. All life begins in the dark. Um, you find without the dark, there is no light. So there is this whole dynamic here where we have been taught that it's bad, the underworld is bad, and it's not. The underworld is a place of healing. And we have been taught through society of, you know, under many different, well, under one persuasion, I should say, how to fear these things, how not to address them, just sweep them under the rug. We're taught not to be too loud and, to calm down and stuff like that. That right there is that is like like that imperialism patriarch where you're trying to keep um, the subjects um, quiet, you know, keep them quiet so they won't do anything. But anyway, so she is the torch of this clarity in the darkness. This is what she does. Um, this is her gift. She will give that clarity in the darkness, a reminder that the unknown, is to be explored. Nowadays many refer to her as a triple goddess, but originally she was not considered a triple goddess. She was represented as wholeness. She was mind, body, and spirit. Um, Not the fragmentation of what we see nowadays. She embodies integration and division. Through experience, we see there are more than three versions of the goddess. If you know, you know. And the goddess Hecate whispers, do not follow the well worn path, forge your own. Indeed. So her energy does challenge the societal norms and inherited beliefs that we have, urging us to embrace individuality and spiritual autonomy. She teaches that power lies in choice and that the soul evolves when we dare to stand at the crossroads and choose authenticity over approval. Yeah. Hecate is stirring the cauldron right now, and she is stirring that cauldron within you, within your psyche, within your knowing. And she is about that which doesn't fit in. And that can be troublesome words. One word that is a troublesome word that is really used highly nowadays is the word witch. And, at one time, if you just look at the etymology of it, you will see where it comes from. But that word was used as a negative connotation at one time. Now, is witch is evil sorcerer, hurting people, harming people, blah, blah, blah. We know the propaganda that was fed that led to the deaths of innocent people. But in reality, those that were killed under the witchcraft um, penalty, they were not great sorcerers. Many times they were old widowed women who had some land that somebody else wanted. It was political, it was um, financial, and it was that of control. That's what it was about. So, again, those ladies, many of them, the widows, they would not get remarried. They did not want to get remarried. They wanted to be alone, and that just wasn't kosher for those days, right? So that's another thing entirely. So another asteroid we have in this mix is Juno. And Juno represents soul contracts, commitments, and relational evolution. So, some of this energy that you could be feeling is like you could be tapping into your ancestral blood. You can be tapping into some gifts that you have inherited, hidden gifts. Remember, um, Hecate is about, uncovering the hidden. Okay. So, um, Juno governs the agreements we make, both karmic and conscious, that shape our growth through partnership. At the highest expression, Juno teaches equality, integrity, and devotion to shared purpose. And Sagittarius energy is about expansion. It is truth seeking and liberation from limiting beliefs. And at 28 degrees, we are in the galactic, we are in the um, a karmic completion point. It's called the energetic degree. And that is where it is urging us to integrate the wisdom that we have learned before we move into Capricorn's realm of structure. Capricorn is an earth sign, so it's about structure, building building the base. So Juno and Hecate, the fusion with this alignment, um, with this new moon, it is asking us what commitments align with my truth and where do I need to reclaim power at the crossroads of relationship and destiny. That is a big one. So it is a call to choose consciously, guided by inner fire rather than the external expectation. So, yeah, as you're seeing, this is a very powerful moon. And while this is having a harmonic conversation with Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, Neptune and Saturn will be squaring Chiron and Eros. Again, squares aren't bad. They're not bad. They are catalysts for change. So this is Jupiter's second square with Chiron, and while he is in retrograde, which can bring some deep healing, um, as Jupiter's in Cancer and he is retrograde. So this is about rehoming ourselves. Cancer represents the home. It represents the family. It represents that which you protect. And this is about, with him retrograde, this is going inward. So rehoming ourselves within ourselves, to stop seeking outside of yourself for approval, for finding a home, for um, feeling included, that sort of thing. This square creates a powerful tension between dreams, structure, and raw desire. Neptune in Pisces dissolves boundaries, inviting spiritual surrender and compassion, but can blur clarity a little bit. Okay. Now, Saturn in Pisces demands form within the formless, asking us to ground ideals into reality. Chiron retrograde in Aries, um, it reopens wounds around identity, independence, and courage. Healing comes through self assertion. Okay. And if you were born, I believe, the 70s, if you're a Gen X, you probably have your Chiron in Aries. And that is your original wound that you come here in this world with. So it is like, you know, um, the wound is feeling like you belong to be here. You're worthy to be here, that sort of thing. Um, so this is teaching us to nurture and to care for ourselves, to be home with ourselves, and stop seeking outside ourselves. The square um, is one that is really going to bring about healing through different ways, through us actually stepping forward and doing. Now, Eros in Aries ignites primal passion and creative life force. It's urging bold expression. This is tension between vision and action as we are challenged to reconcile spiritual details. That's Pisces, with this raw need for autonomy and desire, which is Aries. We are healing through courage, um, as we are embodying our feelings. And this is something that we really need to do, is really, feel our feelings. We don't do that today. We're just sweeping it all under the rug. You have to feel them in order to move through them. So you can't, I don't want to say get over it, or I guess get past it. You can work your way through it and you can see it for what it is. So old wounds at this time may surface, so we can choose authenticity over illusion. We are reminded of our sacred desire. Eros reminds us that desire is not a distraction, and many times society teaches us that. It doesn't want us to dream, it doesn't want us to do that. It wants us to keep our nose to the grindstone and continue on grinding away. Eros reminds us that. Um, again, desire is not that distraction. It is a compass for our soul's evolution, and when it is aligned with integrity. So this is about hearing the your soul's calling. What is your desire? What do you want? So one of the things that I want to address here is that many of us have lived in survival mode for many, many years. And that keeps us stressed. It keeps us in fear. We are unable to dream, to have passions, right? When you're stressed out and you have all this stuff going on, it's hard for you to dream of a better day because you are stuck in the mud. You just can't find a way out. This is deep healing right here within the Aries fire, because this is where, this is hitting the wound of where you were not able to take up space, not allowed to be you, where you were too much, where you were too passionate. So now is the time to create space for yourself, and Hecate is calling for you to allow that which was hidden and suppressed, that inner fire that was stifled. It is time to make it shine very bright. Feed that flame and shine as bright as you want. Hecate's torch lights the path. There's no more unconscious contracts. Every yes or no becomes a soul aligned act. She will guide you through your dark time, helping you see the light again. This is the dark that we find in the light. And old relational patterns rooted in dogma or fear will dissolve. We're invited to form partnerships that honor freedom and authenticity. She stirs up within you that which has been silenced and helps you express it with all the scars and experiences that you've had. Those are beautiful. The experiences, whether they be good or bad, the scars, all of that, all those things are beautiful. They are what you have been through, what you have achieved. Your experience is sacred. We have to remember that. Hecate stands at the threshold, inviting you to hear and to walk toward your soul's calling. With Venus in the mix, I feel this is definitely about reclaiming of the divine feminine, but not in the traditional gender order that we have been taught from ideologies, but from our fiery desires. Venus, Hecate, and Juno and Sagittarius, they are no longer putting up with that archaic gender role. They are not having it anymore. They're not having the illusions. They're not having the lies. They are not, they're done. They're done completely. And I understand. I understand because, a lot of us, I feel like a lot of us are in that place. We're just done. We're done playing the games. We're done with all of these ways that we were taught are productive. We are seeing how they are destructive. Um, they are aligning us. They are aligning themselves together, which is aligning us a new path. And this is a choice that we can make. You the thing of it is people are like, oh, well, you have to do. No, you have a choice. You have a choice. You can always decide to go forward or to stay in toxic cycles. That is your choice. And no judgment. If that's what you want, then that's what you want. With Mercury and Sagittarius as well, I feel that it is very important for us to listen for this new moon. These archetypes are talking to us very loudly, and they will help us, but we have to listen. You know, we have to have that empty cup. We can't just hang on to how we think the outcome is going to go through expectations. We have to surrender our control and open ourselves up and be taught again. Many people, you forget you're not teachable anymore. Be teachable. That's how you grow. So listen without prejudice, control, are determining what is to be open. Just listen. This new moon will seed what will be actualized in Aries. That's the primal fire. As Neptune moves into Aries on July the 26th of next year, of 2026, the collective dream shifts from passive idealism to active spiritual pioneering. This energy dissolves fear and awakens a call to embody vision through bold action. Dreams no longer stay in the ether, they demand movement. So we're asked to align um, our personal will with divine purpose, forging a new path for authentic expression. Um, Compassion will become dynamic. And it's going to be, uh, when it does move into Aries, it'll be less about retreat and more about standing for truth with your heart. This transit signals the birth of spiritual warriors where imagination fuels fearless beginnings. And Saturn will move into Aries on February the 14th of 2026 on Valentine's Day. Um, Lupercalia. The energy shifts towards structured independence and disciplined action. So Aries is all about the selfhood, and Saturn demands responsibility and for us to own our own authority, to be our boss. So this is about taking control of your life. Together, they will teach us to lead with integrity. That's one thing that's missing in our world a lot is integrity. Bold beginnings require patience and strategy, courage and commitment. Impulsiveness will not sustain growth here. This is a time to turn passion into purpose when bravery meets accountability. The question becomes, how can I create a life that reflects my authentic fire while honoring long term stability? The collective energy of Neptune and Saturn entering Aries, it pivots towards initiating a new era of spiritual and um, spiritual and physical courage. So this is a time to dissolve old fears, Neptune, and to build new frameworks, Saturn, that honor individuality and collective evolution. So that's the energy we're going into. So as the Sagittarius new moon opens a gateway of possibility, it is about completing a cycle of belief based um, ideas. And it is about stepping into a new paradigm where truth and sovereignty coexist. It is a call to the soul, connecting us to our ancestors, even learning from them, learning from their ways. It is a time of higher learning, exploring something new that we may value. Um, it's time to trust in yourself, and to desire or express something that you never did before. Uh, it's welcome to the liminal time. It definitely is. Hecate walks beside us, her torch blazing as her torch is blazing for us in this velvet dark. She is the keeper of the thresholds, guiding us through the liminal space where endings become beginnings. And this moon is a seed. And Hecate whispers to us at this moon, plant what is true and choose what is yours. Her light does not banish the mystery, it honors it. Her torch blazes, and she illuminates just enough for us to take the next step with courage, reminding us that the unknown is sacred and it is not something to fear. With every flicker of her flame, she calls us to authenticity, to um, to paths that are untrodden. Um, it she teaches us to choose what will liberate the soul. Under this moon, let her torch ignite your inner fire. Stand at the crossroads with reverence, and know that you're not alone. You're not alone at that crossroads. The goddess of keys and thresholds walks with you, holding space for your becoming. And that is one powerful new moon we have. And working with these archetypes and this archetypical energy really helps us relate to the energy that's going on in our world today. So I hope you all enjoyed that. If I do have some time, I will pull a reading, um, and we'll see how the cards were or what the cards say about the astrology. All right. Y'all have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. And please subscribe and follow me, and have a wonderful day. Merry part till we merry meet again.